Hi everybody, it's Thomas here from Thomas Fitzgerald Photography. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to take a little break from Lightroom and I'm instead going to look at Capture One. No, wait, come back! They have recently added a pretty cool feature to Capture One and I was curious to try it out and I wanted to show it to you. So what they've done is they've added the ability to process film, negative film, directly within Capture One. So if you shoot film and you scan your negatives yourself using a camera, so with camera scanning, you can now directly convert your negatives in Capture One. So it's kind of like Negative Lab Pro for Lightroom, if you've seen that. It works similarly to that. It's not exactly the same. So this isn't really meant to be a full tutorial. I just wanted to show you what they've done. Okay, so here we are in Capture One, and you want to make sure you're using the latest version. So currently it's 16.7.5.7. So I have a negative that I scanned with my camera using a macro lens and a light box. Actually, I kind of cheated. I didn't have a light box, so I just used my iPad with like one of those torch app things that just lights up the screen. Actually worked quite well. So if you go up here to the Workspaces tool, you will see there is a new workspace called Film Negative. So if I select that, it will give us our film negative tools. So they have a good tutorial on their website that walks you through the process, and there is kind of a recommended process for this. So the first thing they say you should do is take a white balance reading off the film base. So I'm going to do that here. Okay. So that just kind of sets the starting point for this, and then the next thing they suggest you do is crop your photo right into the actual image area, like so. So I'm going to do that. Okay, and then you'll see if you look up on the toolbar here, there's this convert negative button. So all I'm going to do is click on that, and that converts it to a positive. And basically the way what this does is it does an auto level, so it's not quite as good as say NegLab Pro where it has built-in color profiles. So you will have to do some editing with this. Now the other thing is when you're in this special negative mode, only certain tools will work in this. So for example, you have no highlights and shadows, it just doesn't work in this mode. And other things like, so for example, if I go up to the white balance and I drag this towards the warm side, you'll see it's actually getting cooler, and that's because obviously we're working with a negative. So I'm just going to get this in the ballpark, maybe something like that, and I'm just going to adjust the exposure, maybe bring up the contrast a little as well. So they do have some other tools. So for example, on the curves tool, you go in and you'll see there's a pick neutralize point. So basically you pick a neutral color like gray or white, and it's supposed to set the color for you, and that's actually not a bad effort. There's also, you can also change the way the levels are set. So if I go into settings, you'll see we have enable target output levels for film negative, and you can change that. So if you're getting clipping, that will help that. I'm just going to leave it at the defaults for this. So I found that once you kind of get it in the ballpark, the best thing to do is convert it to a positive, and that way you can use all the color correction tools within Capture One. So, I mean, you can keep processing it here until you get it as close as possible, but I'm just going to convert it now because this is just for demonstration purposes. So to do that, all you have to do is export it, and export it as a TIFF. And you can, I'm just going to save it in the same location. I'm doing this in a session, so if you're in a catalog you'll have to manually re-import it, or you might have to manually re-import it, but I don't need to do that because I'm working in a session. And yeah, so that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to change the name here, and at the end I'm just going to add positive. Okay, and I'm just going to hit export one image, so that will process it as a TIFF, and it should pop up here now. Okay, so there we go. So that is our TIFF file converted. So now that we've converted our negative, we can go back to our normal workspace. So we go to default. You can actually batch process these as well, and there's, again, like I said, they've quite a good tutorial on this and they explain all about that in there as well. So now that we're back in our standard mode with a positive image, we can just use the normal editing feature. So like we have everything here, including highlight and shadows. so we can work away. So here's the thing that I found that's interesting about this. Normally when I'm getting my film processed, I'll get scans done as well, because it's not actually that much more. And what they do is they basically scan them at low res. The quality is not great, but the colour is usually fairly accurate. So for example, here, this is straight from the film lab. This is the scan they did. Now obviously it's too low res to actually be kind of useful. However, I can use Capture One's match look tool to match to the lab scan. So all you have to do is go to your image, make sure you go to the positive, and if you look over here in our match look tool, you can see I already have the lab scan selected, but I'm just going to drag it back in anyway, just to be on the safe side. And you want to make sure apply as a new layer is selected, because you want to be able to fade it up and down. So just hit apply, and you can see that is very similar to what we got from our lab scan. Now it's a little bit much, so I'm just actually going to drop the opacity down on this layer, and that's a pretty good conversion. I think that's not bad at all. I mean, you can do some additional things here as well. So for example, I can add some sharpening. Maybe if you are sharpening, you just want to sharpen it a little bit, but we don't really need to do that much to this because it's a pretty good quality image as it is. So the thing is, I don't actually do that much film photography anymore, because for the simple reasons it's phenomenally expensive here in Ireland. I shoot a single roll of film, between processing, scanning and the cost of the film is probably about €50, so it's very expensive. But I do still shoot now and again. So let me give you another example. So all of these were shot on this, by the way. This is my lovely old Canon AE1 that I got actually in Brighton when I shot these. Okay, so let me give you another example. So again, just to let you know what this is going to look like, this is the one that I scanned with Neglab Pro. So we're going to try and match that as best as possible. So go back here to our negative, and I'm going to go up to my workspaces and go back over to film negative. And don't forget, you can of course customize your workspace, so you could add the negative tools to your standard workspace if you have your own customized version. Okay, so we go here again, and once again we set our white balance, and then we can crop our image like so, and then hit convert negative. And again, that's not bad, but the color's a little off, so we'll just adjust our exposure and brightness, and we want to just, as with the previous one, we want to get it in the ballpark, and then we can use the other color correction tools once we go back to standard mode. So we'll just increase the contrast a bit, and the colors are a bit off, so I'm going to use the color balance tool, maybe just add a bit of warmth to the midtones, maybe cool the shadows a bit. I mean, that's not bad. So we will go with this for the moment, and again I'm just going to use the export tool to convert it to a positive, and we have all our settings from before. You could actually save this as a positive conversion preset on the export recipes. So export one image. Okay, so here is the one we've just converted, and again we can pop back over to our normal workspace, and if we go up to match look, and this time we want to go with the one that we created with Neglab Pro, just as a reference. I would use the film lab scan for this, but I don't know where it's gone. Okay, and then apply, and again, it's not perfect. The match look thing is pretty good, but it's never 100%, so once again we can just drop that down a little bit, and that is pretty much in the ballpark. Of course, we're still going to have to go in and like do some dust and scratches removal, but that's fairly straightforward in Capture One anyway. And if you are trying this yourself and you've experiences with this, and you normally use something like Neglab Pro, just let me know in the comments how you get on. So that's pretty much it. I hope you have enjoyed this and you found it useful. And if you do, please like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. See you next time. Bye.